And hey, good morning. Welcome to Breakthrough Walls. Wow, I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. I'll tell you what, the last few days, 4 days, 5 days have been very difficult. Not gonna lie about that. I have had, I don't even know what this is, bronchitis. I don't know. But need to know what a fink is. Well, I am going to tell you what a fink is. So, a long time ago, I got into sales. I worked at the Honda factory right out of high school. I did that for a couple of years or so, 3 years, and hated it. So, I got into sales. And I the very first sales job I had, I did very, very well and became a leader in that company. And then, and that lasted like 6 months and the company went under. It was crazy. So I ended up going to another company, and I was an independent contractor. Back in those days, we had answering machines. We didn't have cell phones. If you were really doing well, you got a beeper. But back in those days, like you would set up a second phone line in your home and attach an answering machine to it. So that was in what was that? 1991, maybe 90, 91, 90. 1989 or 90, I don't know, somewhere back in those days. And so I did extremely well with this company. And I was young. I mean, that was a long time ago. I was really young, but yet I had excelled in selling. And then I got into a funk. I fell into a dip in my sales. Everybody I talked to, the most qualified prospects I had, nobody was signing up. Nobody was saying yes. Everybody was saying, buzz off, get out of here. They didn't want anything to do with me. Now, my day, every day was calling on businesses. I cold called businesses, sometimes over the phone, but a lot of times it was just out knocking on doors, just going business to business, setting up appointments, getting business cards, dropping off business cards, doing everything that I could to generate appointments to go in and sell a prepaid, very pricey collection agency service. And in a very, very big company, 500 million or so a year is what we did in business. So I was an independent contractor, and I had a manager. Like, there were regional managers, district managers, area managers, and I had worked my way up quickly into like this area manager position. But my regional manager was the guy that, man, he was really, really pushing me. And he's like, dude, you could be a VP in this company. You've got so much potential and blah, 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 blah. And, it was my responsibility every single night to call him and tell him my numbers. Numbers meaning how many contacts did you make that day? How many owners or decision makers did you talk to? How many did you give a pitch to, like your opening pitch to get an appointment? And then how many people, got an appointment and or signed up with you and bought if you were doing demos that day as well. This guy's name was Dan Fink. And I got to tell you something. I fell into this dip. And back then, the what was it? The Nintendo 64, maybe, I don't know, was a fairly new console gaming system. Mario Brothers and Super Mario and all of that was was pretty popular. And I smoked cigarettes back then and drank coffee a lot. Well, I fell into this dip, and I sales were not happening, and I got really, 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 like, I don't know. I want to say depressed, but not really. I just didn't care. Like, it was more of apathy. I just didn't care, like, about anything. Like, I didn't see the point in going out and calling on businesses anymore because they were all saying no. So why continue? And so Dan Fink didn't hear from me for a night or two, and he immediately called, left me voicemails on messages on my answering machine in my office saying, "Ken, it's Dan. Hey, I didn't hear from you last night. Give me a call." And I'm sitting in my living room playing Nintendo, smoking cigarettes, and drinking coffee until it was, time to drink beer. And so one morning, and this went on for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. I hadn't decided I was going to quit the company. I just wasn't doing anything because I didn't see the point. Like, what's the point? I went out for 3 or 4 days and everybody said no. They were actually kind of mean. Told me, get the hell out of here. Don't come back. Didn't you see the no soliciting sign? What are you doing here? Get out of here. And I took it really, really personal. And I got into a serious funk. In fact, it was such a bad funk that yeah, right. I was, the funk was so bad I had given up on Fink. And I stopped calling Fink. I stopped calling him. I stopped worrying about him. Matter of fact, I was sick of hearing his voice on my answering machine, so I turned the volume way down. I turned the ringer off on my phone, and I'm like, you know what? Leave all the messages you want, Fink. I'm in a funk. Leave me alone. And what's going on, Olin? How you doing, bro? So, Dan Fink. Now, I lived at Mad River Mountain, which is a ski resort here in Ohio. And Dan lived in Columbus, which was about an hour and 10-minute drive from where I lived, something like that. And so he says, I'm sitting there one morning, and I had longer hair. I'm sitting there playing Nintendo, smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee, sitting on the floor, really getting it. I mean, I think I was really close to clearing the whole Super Mario Brothers game. And all of a sudden, I had a gravel driveway, and I hear, the rocks popping on tires. And I'm like, what the heck is that? What's going on? And so I go over to the window, and I kind of pull the drape back a little bit. And it's one of those kind of, partially see-through drapes, And I pull it back, and I look, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Fink. And I hit the floor. I'm in the kitchen, and I'm crawling. And I'm like, shit, he saw me. He saw me. Oh my God, he saw me. What the heck am I going to do? And I'm crawling, and I'm back at the ashtray with a cigarette burning, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm freaking out. Like, Fink is here. What's Fink doing at my house? Like, this isn't cool. Like, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's left me so. And look, he wasn't a big dude. He was 20 years older than me, probably. But he was, making $300,000-400,000 a year, and he was my manager, right? So I was freaked out, and I'm like, oh dear God, what am I gonna do? Like, and I'm sitting there like puffing on a cigarette, and I'm thinking, I haven't heard the car door yet, so he's still in his car, and I'm thinking, I'm dead. He's gonna kill me. And I wait. and then I hear the car door, and then I start sweating, and I'm like, oh God, he's coming to the door. So he comes to the door, he knocks on the door, and I'm like, okay, just be quiet, just be quiet, don't make a sound, and he'll go away. And he pounds on it, and like a lot harder this time, and he's like, Ken, I know you're in there. And I'm like, shh, he saw me. So I'm like, what do I do? Do I stay in denial here, or do I go to the door and confront Fink and tell him about my funk? So I decided I'm going to go confront Fink. So I go confront Fink. I open up the door, and he literally pushes his way in my house. Like, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, what are you doing? I've left you 10 voicemails. You're not calling me back. What are you doing? And I go, dude, I just haven't been feeling very good. Hey, Robin, how are you? And hey, Chris. And he's like, oh, that's bull, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you need, and I'm standing there with my, it's morning. It's like 9 o'clock or 9:30, 10 o'clock. I don't know. It's early. And my hair's standing up. I look like Don King. The house is filled with cigarette smoke. Got a cup of coffee. And I'm thinking, dude, what? I'm an independent contractor, bro. Like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm thinking that, right? I'm not saying it. I promise you, I'm not saying it. Because even though he wasn't that big of a dude, I was terrified of this guy. Like, I just was, right? Let me get a drink of water. Sorry for my throat. It's still messed up. But So Fink goes, and he's wearing a suit and tie, right? Which is what we wore for our job. And he goes, get in the shower and get your ass clean. Hurry up. And I go, why? And he goes, we're going out. You're going to my appointments today. I go, well, he goes, I don't want to hear it. Get in the shower. I'm getting a cup of your coffee. Get in the shower. And I'm like, oh, my dear God. Is this really happening? Like, I'm not in the mood, man. I'm in a funk. Leave me alone. And, of course, I didn't say that to him. I'm like, okay, yes, sir. And I went and I got in the shower. Excuse me. So I said, so I get ready. I put my suit on, my tie, and I'm, it does make you feel a little bit better when you get dressed, right? But so I still was in a funk. I'm like, I'm not down with Fink today. Like, I want to stay in my funk and feel sorry for myself. And so we get in the car and we leave, and he has an appointment, but it's like later in the day. His intent was to get me out of the house, get me in the car, and then get me knocking on doors with him. And I was like, come on, dude. We're knocking on doors? Like, I thought you had appointments. I thought I was going to watch The Man close. He goes, no, you are going to get out of this BS funk that you're in, and you're going to knock on doors, and you're going to freaking take action. This is bullshit. And if you ever ignore my calls again, I will knock the crap out of you. I mean, he was serious too, and I was scared. I was also like, I grew up fighting, but I was like, dude, are we gonna throw down? What's going on? But like, I would have never with him. Like, I would have just let him beat my ass because like I had a lot of respect for this guy, and so we went out that day. I'm like, dude, I tried knocking on doors for 3 or 4 days in a row. Nothing happened. I got thrown out. People were pissy. They were, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, you need to have an attitude shift right now. You need to, and he started talking about what you expect you're going to get. He goes, we're going to start expecting that people are going to ask us to help them collect bad debt. I'm going to show you how to do it on a couple of them. And he walked into the very first one he walked into. They didn't even set an appointment. They said, yes, we have a severe problem with this. Come on back. It was a lumber company or something. Come on back. Let's talk. And he signed him up, got a $10,000 check. I know he made $3,000 or $4,000 commission on that, like that. And I was like, son of a, like, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. So I know, hey, Channing, how are you, buddy? I know what it's like to get into a funk. I know. Trust me. I know. And I've done it so many times in my life, I'm ashamed to admit it. Even after that. But let me tell you, nothing gets better by staying in a funk. Nothing gets better in life by not taking action. And what Dan Fink, and I wish I could find this dude, I cannot find him. What Dan did for me that day, I'll never, ever, ever be able to thank him enough. Because I always remember when I get into that place where I'm like, what's the point? Like, nothing's going right. What's the point? Have you ever been there? Like, you think, what's the point of even trying anymore? Like, it just, the last 2 months have been horrible. Like, I've like, it's just not going right. What's the point? Maybe I should switch jobs. Maybe I should switch careers. Maybe I should do something else. Maybe I should, whatever it is, right? What Dan taught me that day was, dude, get out of your freaking head. Get out of your own way. Get out of your head. And I think something, and later that day, we were clear up by Lake Erie, and there was a, which is way up in northern Ohio. It's as far as you go. I mean, you can go a little further, but you're in the lake. So we're way up there, and he had to meet some guy to pick up a check, another check. I mean, the dude made like $10,000 that day, and I watched him do it, and I was like, and I got out of my own way. I got back into the basics and set up some appointments. I'm so sorry for coughing on air like this, but I can't help it. But, you know, so I think what God did for me that day, though, was to help me get it embedded in my memory forever, was he let me get shot by a shotgun. Seriously. Dan had to meet this guy to pick up a check, and we stop at a payphone because cell phones didn't exist. And he calls this guy, he's a contractor. He's like, yeah, I'm driving down this road, and it's on the lake, up on whatever that road is, Route 2 or something like that. I don't know. But we're driving, and they see each other. So the dude does a U-turn, comes around, and we pull off the side of the road on this road. Well, behind, and I'm just standing out there smoking a cigarette. They're smoking and talking and whatever, and everybody smoked back then. But anyway, so I'm standing there, and they're over on the other side of the car. I'm like at the back because I didn't want to like listen in and you know be intrusive. So I'm standing there, and I keep hearing shotguns over in these woods, and I found out later it's like a firing range or something. I keep hearing these shotgun shots. I'm thinking, well, they're at a shooting range. You know, we're good. And didn't even really think about it. And then all of a sudden I hear a shot, and then I feel this, like this spray across the bottom parts of my legs because I had my back to it. I'm looking out like towards the lake. And holy mother of God, I had just gotten shot by these shotgun pellets. It left welts all over the back of my legs. I mean, I didn't penetrate my suit pants or anything else, but it hurt. And I ran around the side of the car, and I'm like screaming maybe some expletives, but I was not happy about it, obviously. But like it was almost like God made sure that I got shot that day just so I would never forget that when you're in a funk, you need to pull a think. You need to get out of your way. You're in your own way. Get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Take massive action. Quit telling yourself that everybody's going to tell you no. Start telling yourself that everybody's going to tell you yes. Start telling yourself that everybody needs what you do. Start making the calls. Get out. Go outside. Go for a walk. Clear your head, and then get back on the phones or do whatever it takes to get out of your funk. Staying in a funk is not going to help you. Get out of your funk by pulling a fink. I know that was a catchy title. And look, The guy's name really is Dan Fink. I'll never forget him. And for the rest of my life, I'll be grateful for that man. That was when I was 22 or 3, maybe. I don't know. It was a long time ago. And, you know, I was probably younger than that, 21. Anyway, don't let a funk stay with you. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. And it happens to everybody. We all get into these places. Every one of us. That's right, Channing. Oh, yeah, a lot of people would have quit. I literally, listen, as Dan is pounding on my door and my hair's standing up and I look like Don King and I'm smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee and thinking about what time I can start drinking beer that day. I thought about quitting. I really did. Thank God I'd made a couple $1,000s a week several times. And back then, I mean, $100,000 a year back then was, I don't know, $500,000 now, probably. You know, and so I was making a lot of freaking money, and I was like, you know, like, man, I can't really tell this guy to piss off, even though I want to. And there was probably a little bit of a hidden fear because, again, I was a subcontractor. He made an override on what I sold. And so, you know, there was probably some fear that he would shoot me or something. I don't know. I mean, like, not with shotgun pellets either from half a mile away. I don't even know how far that place was from where we were standing, but it hurt, man. But anyway, so look, if you're in a funk, you've got to, seriously, you got to sit down, write out what it is that you want to accomplish, what your targets are, and then take massive action. And if you can't find a target, pick up the phone and start calling people. Just pick up the phone and start calling people. And listen, I do training every single day in a private Facebook group. Go to www.thewowformula.com and get signed up. Because I do this stuff and a lot more in this group every single day. It's $25 a month to be a member. But hey, I've got 30 members in there. I know I have some people on this stream right now that are members. They'll tell you. Ask them about it. It's $25 a month. You get a lot of value for that. So appreciate all of you. Go over to thewowformula.com. If you're in a funk, you need to pull a think. And if you don't know what I mean and you just joined this, go back and watch the replay. You guys have an awesome day. I appreciate each and every one of you. Tomorrow, I have a guest on that is a Hall of Fame speaker. A Hall of Fame speaker. This guy is, you wait. You wait until you see this dude. This guy is legit. Legit. For real. Wait till you see this dude tomorrow that's on Breakthrough Walls. I can't wait to introduce the world to him. Well, he's known all over the world. He flies all over the world training, speaking, and teaching. And I have him as a guest. He's a good friend of mine. Love this dude. Wait till tomorrow. You'll see who he is. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.